BlueMetric is mission-ready water. We are world-class experts solving our clients' most challenging environmental problems. BlueMetric provides a full range of environmental consulting services supported by bespoke engineering solutions for emergency, self-contained, and permanent water systems, and is always mission-ready with a full range of in-house support. There is no successful mission without water. We are proud to partner with Atlantic Canadian Industries. We are mission-ready water.
Well, I'm Alan Dale, and I got to tell you what a great pleasure it is to be here in conversation at MASS 2024. It's so good to be at this conference in beautiful St. John's, Newfoundland. Thank you to the good people at ACADA for having the vision to bring this Over the Horizon podcast to life. And of course, our good friends at BlueMetric. Those folks understand that conversations matter, and they are the thought leaders in the room that bring these conversations alive. Such a good conference, talking about the North, but we'd be remiss if we didn't include some folks from the North. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you're up to.
Well, my name is Gregory. I'm residing in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, but I'm originally from Natwashish. It's a community, a very remote community. You can access by boat and by plane throughout the seasons, and in the wintertime you can drive a skidoo up there.
Okay.
10 hour driving on the skidoo.
Right.
Yeah. And I work for Innu Development Limited Partner, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer with that group. And IDLP is a limited partnership, and it's owned by both bank councils of Shihachis and Natwashish.
Okay. Economic development for you, what does that look like? What areas are you focusing on right now for economic development?
Well, right now we're open to all opportunities for our entity, and we have 14 partners now with the companies around Canada, and most of our partners are very successful, and a lot of the revenue that we generate from these partnerships goes towards both communities in Shihachis and Natwashish.
Right. So the partnerships and revenues developed, it's feeding right back into the community to develop the community. Of course, this conference is focused a lot on Arctic safety and security. Ships passing, I would argue, right by your front door. Am I right?
Yes, that's right.
So this makes a lot of sense for you to be in this conversation.
Yeah.
What are you hearing on the conference floor that's exciting you?
Well, all the things, it excites me in a way, and also it's a concerning for me because of the climate change that's happening in around the world, and because a lot of my people are depend on a lot of the resources, like they hunt, and I think that is concern for me, because a lot of our young people are going up in skidoos, going on the boats, and there's a concern of the thickness of the ice and the change that's happening with relates to climate change.
Mm-hmm. That is concerning, right? I think you'll find most companies here understand that, want to understand it even better, and want to put a focus on it. Yeah. That must be somewhat pleasing to hear that at least they're focusing.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, and as I know, most of the Innu, especially our elders, they're depend on the land for many years, and with the change happening, there need to be more knowledge from the experts of what's happening, and at the same time, our elders need to also share the knowledge to the people studying this, because change is happening. We need to be part of the change, and we need to work together and build a relationship, a working relationship, so we can be as one to address this concern.
Mm-hmm. What would you tell companies, companies like BlueMetric and stuff like that, that are looking for partnerships in your part of the world, and they understand the importance of engaging early
Yeah.
in the conversation to make sure that they get the partnership right, that it's beneficial for everybody? What would you tell them about doing work with you?
Well, I'll give you an example of what we've been doing in negotiating these partnerships. We try to be, we are very transparent and we are very honest, and to build a good working relationship and an understanding on both parties, the business will be successful. You know, and I think that's the key, and that's the important that we establish, and that if one partner is derailing, it's not going to work. You know, we need to be on the same road together, same rail together, and we will be successful. And a lot of the revenues that we collect with this partnership goes back to the community. Mm-hmm. And we need to, when I say knowledge, that young people need to we need to invest more money in the schools, right, and we need to invest more money in scholarships and so on, and that will help the people, and that will be more productive in a way through training, education, and so on.
You know, if I could flip that question a little bit, what would there be one or two things that you would tell companies to avoid doing when they're trying to do business with you?
Well, there's one thing I stressed out at the first of our meeting with our let's be honest here, guys. Let's be honest. Let's have an open dialogue and have an open book for what we're going to discuss. You know, and they also need to understand where we're coming from as an indigenous group, because we're the last Innu people came out of the nomadic way of life, and a lot of these things happening are new, and we need to understand, and we need to be more educated what we're up against, and that's really important, because like I said before, we don't want anyone at that table to be derailed, mm-hmm, because once it's derailed, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I love the way you describe that, right? There's learning on both sides of this, isn't there, right?
Yes.
You want to learn the way that this company is doing business, and they need to learn the way you do business, right?
Yes, exactly,
and as long as you're open and honest about it, high probability of success there.
And that's the key. I think that's the key in establishing a good partner and a good working relationship.
What would you tell companies about your part of the world?
Well, we are open. We are open for any discussions. A lot of things happen to people in the past. There's schools. There's Catholic. There's residential schools, and all those things happen to us. They happen already. No, let's move forward and work. Let's establish again a working relationship and establish so once we are at the table, once we sign the dotted line, let's generate revenues to help those people that were traumatized. I think that's the goal here. Partnering with, because a lot of English is our second language, and Innu is our first language, and we need to preserve this identity. We need to preserve this language, and once we collect these revenues, put them there where they can be restored for language and culture.
Right.
Simple.
Keep that legacy going.
Yeah, keep that legacy. Use those resources, and at the same time, we can work together.
An absolute pleasure being in conversation with you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
BlueMetric is your partner and works with Atlantic Canadian industries and organizations who are concerned about the water health of our planet and the people who inhabit it in an environmentally and culturally sensitive manner. BlueMetric joins the growing number of like-minded, innovative Atlantic Canadian companies who are changing the environmental landscape for the globe in a world-class way. World-class experts solving our clients' most challenging environmental problems. We are mission ready water.